change until you change the way you see yourself. Some of you are stuck, not because you lack talent, not because you lack opportunity, but because you don't believe in who you are. You see yourself as small, so you stay small. You see yourself as weak, so you act weak. But today, we're going to shift that mindset. Your mind is the key to your success. The way you think about yourself is shaping your future. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, that becomes your reality. But if you start saying, I am capable, I am strong, I am destined for greatness, then your actions will follow your thoughts. Stop letting your past define you. Too many of you are stuck in your past failures. Listen to me. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Just because you failed before doesn't mean you're a failure. The only time you truly fail is when you stop trying. Surround yourself with the right people. Who are you spending time with? Are they pushing you to grow, or are they keeping you in the same cycle? If you want to see yourself differently, surround yourself with people who see your potential, not just your past. Take responsibility for your life. Nobody is coming to save you. Stop waiting for someone else to believe in you before you believe in yourself. Own your greatness. Own your potential. It's not about what life gives you, it's about what you do with it. Set higher standards. If you want more, you have to expect more from yourself. You can't have a king or queen's life with a peasant's mindset. Stop settling. Push yourself. Demand excellence in everything you do. Speak life into yourself every day. Words have power. Every morning, I need you to wake up, look in the mirror, and declare who you are. I am strong. I am smart. I am blessed. I will win. Speak it until you believe it. Speak it until it becomes real. Take action now. You can change your life, but it starts with changing your perspective. No more excuses. No more waiting. Today, I want you to walk out of here with a new mindset. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are unstoppable. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It's the control center of your entire life. The way you think about yourself shapes the way you move, the way you act, and ultimately the way you live. If you don't believe you are capable, you won't even try. If you see yourself as weak, you will never push beyond your limits. But when you shift your mindset, when you start seeing yourself as powerful, as capable, as deserving of success, everything changes. Too many people walk through life carrying a broken mindset. They tell themselves they're not smart enough, not strong enough, not lucky enough. They look at others and think, I could never be like them. And you know what? As long as you think that way, you never will be. It's not because you don't have the ability, it's because you've already decided that you don't. Let me tell you something. Your thoughts are not just random ideas floating around in your head. Your thoughts are the foundation of your life. They determine your attitude, your confidence, and your ability to take action. If you wake up every morning telling yourself that you're not good enough, that today is going to be just as bad as yesterday, that you'll never achieve your goals, then that is exactly what your life will reflect. But if you wake up with a different mindset, if you tell yourself, I have what it takes, I am growing, I am learning, I am moving forward, then your actions will begin to align with that truth. That most people are conditioned to think smart. From the moment we are born, society tells us what we can and cannot do. We hear people say, be realistic, don't dream too big, stay in your lane. We are surrounded by messages that make us doubt ourselves. If you grow up hearing others will struggle forever, it becomes easy to believe that lie. But listen to me, your mind is programmable. You are not stuck with the thoughts that were planted in you as a child. You are not destined to live in doubt and fear forever. Just like a computer, you can upgrade your mental software. You can rewire your brain to think differently, to believe differently, to see yourself differently. And the moment you do, everything else in your life begins to shift. Think about it. Every successful person you admire, every person who has achieved greatness, started with a thought. They didn't wait for someone else to tell them they were great. They decided for themselves. They saw their potential before anyone else did. They believed in themselves when no one else did. And because of that, they took action. They kept pushing. They kept moving forward. You have that same power inside you, but you have to make a decision. You have to decide right now that you are not going to let negative thoughts control you anymore. You have to decide that your past failures do not define your future success. You have to decide that no matter what anyone else says, No matter what your circumstances look like, you are capable of more. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Changing your mindset is not something that happens overnight. It takes work. It takes discipline. It takes a commitment to reprogramming the way you think. But the good news is, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Every morning when you wake up, take control of your thoughts before they take control of you. Instead of letting your mind wander to all your worries and insecurities, start the day with a declaration. I am strong. I am capable. I am worthy. Say it even if you don't feel like it. Say it until you believe it. Because here's the truth. Your mind listens to your words. The more you tell yourself something, the more your brain starts to accept it as fact. And it's not just about words, it's about action. When you change the way you see yourself, you start acting differently. You start taking risks. You start stepping into opportunities. You start pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible. That's the power of mindset. It doesn't just change the way you think, it changes the way you live. The reason some people stay stuck in the same cycle year after year is because they never challenge their thoughts. They never question the negative voices in their head. They accept fear and doubt as reality instead of seeing them as obstacles they can overcome. But the ones who break free, the ones who rise to the top, are the ones who dare to think differently. So today, I want you to make a choice. I want you to choose to believe in yourself. I want you to choose to see yourself as powerful, as capable, as worthy of success. No more small thinking, no more self-doubt, no more waiting for permission to be great. It's time to upgrade your mindset, because the way you see yourself will determine the life you create. And I promise you, if you shift your thinking, if you start believing in yourself on a deeper level, you will see doors open that you never imagined possible. Your mind is the key. Use it wisely. Too many people are trapped by their past. They carry the weight of past failures, mistakes, disappointments, and setbacks as if those moments define who they are. But listen to me. Your past is not a life sentence. It's not a permanent label that dictates your future. It's a lesson, a stepping stone, a chapter in your story, but it is not the whole book. The problem is most people let their past dictate their future because they keep looking backward instead of forward. They keep replaying the mistakes they made, the opportunities they missed, and the times they failed. And because they focus on their failures, they believe they are failures. But failure is an event, not a person. Just because you failed doesn't mean you are a failure. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall over and over again, but do they stop trying? No, they get up. They try again, and before long, they run it. Nobody tells that child, you failed too many times, so you'll never walk. But as we get older, we start telling ourselves that lie. We convince ourselves that because we failed at something in the past, we will never succeed in the future. That's a dangerous mindset, because when you start believing that, you start trying, you start dreaming, you start pushing forward. And that's when you truly fail. Not because you fell, but because you refuse to get back up. Some people carry their past like a heavy backpack, filled with regret, shame, and guilt. Every time they try to move forward, that weight holds them down. But let me ask you something. If you were walking up a mountain and you realized you were carrying a bag full of rocks, would you keep carrying it? Or would you drop it so you can move faster? That's what you need to do with your past. Drop the weight. Let go of the baggage. Stop letting what happened before dictate what happens next. Maybe you didn't grow up in the best environment. Maybe people told you that you would never amount to anything. Maybe you've made mistakes that you wish you could take back, but none of that has to define you. You get to decide who you are. You get to rewrite the story. You get to break free from the limitations of your past and step into a new future. But it starts with your mindset. It starts with you choosing to see your past as a teacher, not a prison. Every failure, every setback, every mistake, those are lessons. They are opportunities to grow, to learn, to become stronger. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never fail. They saw their struggles as stepping stones, not roadblocks. They understood that setbacks are setups for comebacks. If you keep looking in the rear view,
Hey, take a look. Hey, take a look.
Let's try this microphone here. I'm getting some sound here. I've been talking and trying to see if I can be heard here. Well. Testing. I am seeing something pop up on the meter now. Something is popping up on my meter, but I still don't hear myself There we go. Like that microphone is working. Excuse me. If we can switch this back up. Anything here? Nothing is coming in. Are we connected now? We are connected now. Woo! Let's see. Testing. Oh, we were just connected. Testing. Can you hear me? Okay. And looks like we are back in. All right. We are good. All right. Ta-da.
If you mirror, you're going to crash. You have to focus on where you're going, not where you've been. Your past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. You don't live there anymore. So stop letting it control you. Stop letting it dictate what you believe about yourself. Stop using it as an excuse for why you can't move forward. The only thing holding you back is your mindset. And the moment you decide to shift it, everything changes. Forgive yourself. That's a big one. Too many people are stuck because they haven't forgiven themselves for past mistakes. But let me tell you something. Beating yourself up over something you can't change does nothing but keep you stuck. You have to forgive yourself and move forward. You have to understand that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And now that you know better, you can do better. Stop living in regret. Regret is one of the most toxic emotions because it keeps you focused on the past instead of the future. It keeps you stuck in what is instead of what's next. But you can't change the past. No amount of thinking about it, regretting it, or wishing it was different will change what happened. The only thing you can change is what you do next. So instead of focusing on what you should have done differently, focus on what you can do now. You have the power to change your future, but only if you stop letting your past control you. Every single day is a new opportunity. You are not the same person you were yesterday. You are growing, you are evolving, you are learning. And as long as you keep moving forward, your past will become nothing more than a distant memory. It won't define you, it will refine you. So I need you to make a decision today. Decide that your past is no longer going to hold you back. Decide that you are going to stop identifying yourself by your mistakes and start identifying yourself by your potential. Decide that you are no longer going to carry the weight of regret, shame, and failure, because the moment you do that, you will feel lighter, you will feel freer, and you will finally be able to step into the greatness that was always meant for you. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are a fighter. You are resilient. You are capable of more than you ever imagined. And the only thing standing between you and the future you deserve is the decision to let go of what's behind you and reach for what's ahead. The time is now. Let go, move forward, and step into your greatness. Your environment plays a powerful role in shaping your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your future. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, and the energy you absorb daily can either push you toward greatness or pull you into mediocrity. If you're serious about changing your life, you have to start by evaluating who and what is influencing you every day. Too often, people stay stuck in the same patterns because they refuse to change surroundings. They spend time with negative people who drain their energy, engage in conversations filled with doubt and fear, and expose themselves to media and messages that reinforce limiting beliefs. And then they wonder why they feel unmotivated, uninspired, and unable to move forward. The truth is, your environment is shaping you even when you don't realize it. It's influencing the way you think, the way you act, and the way you see yourself. Take a look at the people in your life. Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Are they encouraging you to grow, to push past your limits, to dream bigger? Or are they filling your mind with negativity, doubt, and excuses? The saying is true. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with people who lack ambition, complain about life, and settle for less, you will start to adopt the same mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who are striving for more, who challenge you to be better, who refuse to settle, you will naturally elevate to that level. It's not just about the people, it's about the content you consume. Every book you read, every video you watch, every podcast you listen to is either feeding your growth or feeding your limitations. If you spend your time watching meaningless entertainment, scrolling through negativity on social media, and engaging in gossip, don't be surprised when you feel stuck. But if you start feeding your mind with knowledge, motivation, and inspiration, you will start to think differently. You will start to believe differently. And eventually you will start to act differently. Your physical environment matters too. If you're constantly in a space that feels chaotic, cluttered, or uninspiring, it will reflect in your mindset. The space you operate in should support your goals. Create an environment that fuels your growth. If you're trying to build discipline, set up a workspace that encourages focus. If you're working on self-improvement, surround yourself with reminders of your goals. Affirmations, vision boards, books that inspire you. Small changes in your physical space can make a big difference in how you feel and how you operate. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they can hold on to negative influences while trying to change their lives. They believe they can stay in toxic relationships, listen to negative conversations, and consume uninspiring content, but still maintain a positive mindset. That's impossible. You cannot grow in an environment that is constantly pulling you down. You have to make hard choices. You have to distance yourself from people who do not align with your vision. That doesn't mean you have to cut everyone off, but it does mean you need to be intentional about who you give your time and energy to. Some of the hardest decisions you will make in life will involve letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It's difficult to distance yourself from friends, family, or colleagues who have been in your life for years. But if they are not contributing to your growth, they are holding you back. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means you have a different path. And sometimes walking that path requires walking away from what no longer aligns with your future. The good news is, when you start changing your environment, you will start attracting the right people. When you elevate your mindset, you naturally connect with others who are on the same journey. The conversations change, the energy changes, and suddenly you find yourself surrounded by people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you towards your goals. That's the power of environment. It's not just about removing the negative, it's about replacing it with something better. If you want to change your life, start by making your environment match your vision. Seek out mentors who can guide you. Connect with people who are ahead of you in the journey. Immerse yourself in learning, growth, and positivity. Create spaces that inspire you to be productive and focused. Make your entire environment a reflection of the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. Change is never easy. It requires effort. It requires making tough decisions. It requires stepping out of your comfort zone, but the reward is worth it. When you surround yourself with the right people, the right influences, and the right energy, everything in your life begins to shift. You start to think differently. You start to act differently. And before you know it, you are living a completely different reality, one that aligns with your true potential Your self-talk is one of the most powerful forces shaping your life. The way you speak to yourself, the words you use in your mind, and the beliefs you reinforce through repetition all determine the way you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Most people don't realize this, but the words they say to themselves every single day are either building them up or tearing them down. They are either giving themselves permission to succeed or setting themselves up for failure before they even begin. Many people have developed a habit of negative self-talk without even realizing it. They tell themselves things like, I'm not good enough, I'll never be successful, I'm not smart enough, or I always mess things up. These words might seem small, but over time, they become part of your identity. If you repeat these negative phrases often enough, you start to believe them. And once you believe them, they control your actions. When you believe you are not good enough, you don't try. When you believe you are a failure, you don't push yourself. And when you believe you are incapable, you stay stuck. But here's the truth. Your words create your reality. If you change the way you talk to yourself, you will change the way you see yourself. And if you change the way you see yourself, you will change your life. Every successful person you admire got to where they are because they believed in themselves first. They weren't always confident. They didn't always have it all figured out. But they spoke to themselves in a way that encouraged them to keep going. They replaced self-doubt with self-belief. They silenced negativity, and that mindset shift allowed them to take action when others hesitated. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your inner dialogue. You have to become aware of the words you say to yourself every day and consciously choose to replace negative self-talk with words of power, confidence, and encouragement. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I am capable of figuring this out. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I am improving every day. Instead of saying, I always fail, say, every failure is a lesson that brings me closer to success. The words you use matter. They shape your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your actions. One of the most effective ways to transform your self-talk is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce the identity you want to build. When you say them consistently, they reprogram your subconscious mind and change the way you see yourself. Every morning, start your day with affirmations that empower you. Say things like, I am strong, I am confident, I am capable, I am worthy of success. At first, it might feel strange. You might not fully believe the words, but over time, as you repeat them, they will become your new reality. It's also important to challenge the negative thoughts that creep into your mind. When you hear yourself saying something negative, stop and ask yourself, is this really true, or is this just a fear-based thought? Most of the time, negative self-talk is based on old fears, past failures, or other people's opinions. It is not an accurate reflection of your potential. The key is to replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of letting self-doubt take over, counter it with proof of your abilities. Remind yourself of the things you've accomplished, the obstacles you've overcome, and the progress you've made. The way you talk to yourself also affects your energy and motivation. Think about it. When someone else encourages you, you feel inspired and motivated, right? But when someone criticizes or doubts you, it drains your energy. The same thing happens with your self-talk. If you constantly criticize yourself, you will feel drained and discouraged. But if you speak to yourself with encouragement, you will feel motivated and ready to take action. Your words have power. They can either push you forward or hold you back. Another important part of shifting your self-talk is surrounding yourself with the right influences. If you are constantly around people who speak negatively, doubt themselves, or complain, it will be much harder for you to maintain a positive mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who believe in themselves, who speak with confidence, and who uplift you, their energy will rub off on you. Seek out mentors, friends, and communities that reinforce positive thinking and self-belief. Changing your self-talk is not something that happens overnight. It requires daily effort and intentionality. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, speaking to yourself with confidence, encouragement, and belief will become your default. And when that happens, everything in your life will start to change. You will start to take more risks because you believe in your ability to succeed. You will push past obstacles because you know you are strong enough to overcome them. You will step into opportunities because you see yourself as someone who deserves success. And most importantly, you will develop a deep sense of self-worth that is unshakable because it is built on the foundation of your own words, your own beliefs, and your own mindset. So starting today, pay attention to your self-talk. Be intentional with your words. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend you love and respect. Encourage yourself. Believe in yourself. Because the way you talk to yourself is shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Choose words that build you up and watch how your entire life begins to transform. The idea of surrounding yourself with positive influences might sound simple, but it is one of the most transformative changes you can make in your life. Your environment is not just physical. It includes the people you interact with, the media you consume, and the spaces you occupy. All of these factors have a profound effect on your mindset, your behavior, and your ability to achieve your goals. If you want to change the way you see yourself and the trajectory of your life, it's essential to intentionally curate the influences around you. The people you spend the most time with have a significant impact on how you think, how you feel, and how you act. We often hear the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And while it may seem like a cliche, it is rooted in truth. The attitudes, beliefs, and actions of those around you can either elevate your life or pull you down. If you're constantly surrounded by people who are negative, complacent, or who don't share your aspirations, it becomes much harder to remain motivated and positive. But when you align yourself with individuals who are driven, supportive, and growth-oriented, you begin to rise to the occasion. Positive influences encourage you to believe in your potential and take action toward your goals. They help you stay focused on what's important even when life gets tough. They inspire you to take risks, to learn from your failures, and to keep pushing forward when things seem impossible. This is why surrounding yourself with the right people is crucial. They help you maintain a mindset that is conducive to growth, and they hold you accountable for your actions. However, it's not just about the people you spend time with, it's also about the content you consume. In the digital age, we are constantly bombarded with information, and much of it can be negative, fear-driven, or limiting. The news, social media, and even the entertainment we engage with can influence the way we perceive the world and ourselves. If you're constantly exposed to content that reinforces doubt, negativity, or fear, it will be much harder to maintain a positive and empowered mindset. On the other hand, when you consciously choose to consume content that is uplifting, motivational, and educational, you begin to rewire your brain for success. Books, podcasts, documentaries, and even social media accounts that focus on personal development, entrepreneurship, and positive stories can all serve as powerful tools for growth. The more you expose yourself to positive and empowering content, the more you start to shift your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility. Your physical environment also plays a critical role in shaping your mindset. The space you work in, the way your home is organized, and the places you visit all influence how you feel and operate on a daily basis. If you're constantly working in a cluttered, disorganized space, it can lead to feelings of stress, confusion, and lack of focus. But when you create an environment that is conducive to productivity and clarity, you start to feel more aligned with your goals. The environment around you doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to support the person you're trying to become. Organize your workspace in a way that encourages focus and inspiration. Surround yourself with positive reminders, such as motivational quotes, books, or vision boards that remind you of your goals and dreams. Keep your physical space clean and tidy, as a cluttered environment can lead to a cluttered mind. In addition to organizing your immediate surroundings, think about how you spend your time. Are you consistently engaging in activities that align with your values and goals? Are you investing your time in ways that move you closer to your desired future? Too often, people waste time on things that don't serve them, whether it's mindlessly scrolling through social media, engaging in drama, or participating in activities that drain their energy. To surround yourself with positive influences, you need to be intentional with how you spend your time. Invest your time in things that align with your passions, your values, and your goals. Spend time with people who motivate and inspire you. Engage in activities that challenge you to grow, whether that's reading, exercising, learning a new skill, or working on a personal project. The more you fill your time with positive, purposeful activities, the more you will begin to see your mindset in life shift. One of the hardest parts of this process is letting go of negative influences. This might mean distancing yourself from friends or family members who are toxic or who hold you back from reaching your full potential. It doesn't mean you have to cut these people out of your life entirely, but it does mean you need to be more mindful about the time and energy you invest in these relationships. Letting go of negative influences can be challenging, especially if they've been in your life for a long time. But you must prioritize your growth and well-being. If someone consistently drains your energy, if their presence leads to self-doubt or negativity, it's time to reconsider how much space they occupy in your life.
Let me tell you something. I don't know about y'all, but I have mentally cut off some people in my life with the negativity. What he just said. Like, think about it. Who's in your life? Who's always negative? Who's always saying something, right? And it's just it's always a problem. Time to reconsider, y'all.
Take a look. Hey, take a look.
And it's sad to say it, but I know who it is. I know who's having all this negative energy, who I need to cut loose. Some of y'all gonna think I'm wrong, but my 5-year-old daughter, she's so negative. Oh my goodness, it's always a problem. She always lost a toy and can't find it, right? She's always sitting in somebody else seated in the kitchen at the table, right? Yeah. She's always trying to be the boss. She wants to be the chief, and she's not even an Indian. Y'all don't understand what I'm saying. You don't understand my pressure over here. Nah, just joking. It's my little sweetheart right there. But on a serious note, we do need to be cautious who we're spending time with. All right, I'm looking at this trade here with Cat, looking for a drop, but it's not doing it right now. It's actually doing some other stuff. So I'm gonna wait and see what happens with this candle here. But in the meantime, and in between time, grind time, mind time, we'll go ahead and set some stuff up here and see if I can get in the way of success. We want to come in about here and be done about here. So a good entry, USD chef there. This would be a good TP. And I know I was sitting in market of charts and just putting stuff on my charts, but not really calling out any trades. Just looking at stuff and listening to ET. Just being motivated. And I hope it's motivating you as well. This is something that I do on a regular. So, all right. Let me slide this down. USD chef right here. I think I might move my entry to here if this comes down, but let's just focus on USD chef. So already in profit on chef. Just gonna add in another buy stop right here. Entry is going to be 0.81, 124. 0.81, 124. My TP is going to be 0.81, 027. 0.81, 027 for the sell stop. For my pip eaters that are looking at this youth chef, if you look at this on an hour time frame, you can see a nice entry that we had and the take profit, which was roughly about 91 pips. Okay, and then if you go, just take a look at some of the other things that happen, kind of give you an idea of what you can do. Okay. Could either do some boxing, or you could just go feeding your dragon, whatever you prefer to do. It's up to you. I'm looking at it just in different time frames, trying to see what is our entry. So looking at our entry and going down to like a 5 minute, you could see why this would make sense for this trade that was just called. You may see some other opportunities on the 5 minute time frame. The 30-minute time frame may give you a ultimate move on a, maybe going to say ultimate, just another opportunity that you could take a look at for a sales or TP. Okay. So it's just something else to look at. I'm gonna bring this entry up to here. So we're gonna see if this is probably gonna come up. If this comes up in here, it's just gonna change my thoughts on this trade. While that's happening, I will add a bell here. We shall see what happens. Okay. And if you lean in, see that we're about to kiss the baby. Kissing the baby, pull it in close. Ah, give me some Oma. Expecting a sale on GCAD, but it's not ready for the sale just yet. So I'm not forcing it. I'm just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. And chef is making some moves. Nothing really serious, just kind of hanging in there and saying this is it. But Chef has a good look. If you look at your brick walls, look at your trampolines, look at your boxes, if you do have this indicator. And I want to say Grand Rising, Tanya, how you doing? Yeah, that little one, she is. I won't say it loud. I'm not gonna say her name loud because she is woke, and I'm not trying to get myself in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not trying to tiptoe around no kids. You know what I mean? It is what it is. My wife say you always tiptoeing around the kids, and I say no, just walking soft. Put my foot down around here. Just put it down on cotton. That's all. You know what I mean? I know who the boss is. I know who running this. All that negativity, not trying to deal with it. She is a trip. Let me look back. Yeah, she is something else. She picks her plate, and if you do not put her French fries on the plate where they're supposed to be, you've ruined the whole plate. And there may even be a possibility that you could move those French fries to the right section before adding the ketchup. And don't ever add ketchup on a plate before you add the French fries. It's a problem. It's a problem. Ruined it. Need a whole new plate now. Whole new plate. You know? So, that being said, LL Cool J is putting a crease in his Kango. Look like he is getting that thing ironed up. There he is. Oh yeah, they tried to play us. They tried to play us, but don't worry about it. I'm gonna come in and fix that right now. I went in and did something. I think this is a big mistake that I've made. And yep, playing around yesterday and changed some of my sounds and did not recognize my sounds. And there we go. It's better. They rocking bells now. These birds up out of here. Don't say that, Titan. Don't say that. She's not the boss. She's not. I'm the boss. I run this just when she's not around. Okay? Let's just get things straight. Just got to know when, to claim your title. That's all I'm saying. Dealing with that foolishness she's doing. All right, here we go, y'all. Let's go ahead and set this up. Let's get this entry ready right here. Little mama trying to get me thrown off my square. We are looking at GBP CAD. GBP CAD. You got me nervous talking about she the boss. I tapped the wrong thing messing with you, Tanya. All right, here we go right now. Setting up a sales stop for GBP CAD. Entry is going to be 1.85151. 1.85151 with a TP of 1.85044. 1.85044. Thank you for my MXM connection. Letting me know that you could not hear me, but I was not trying to be heard at that time. So great, cool. We are in on one. I'm gonna go back to some ET, y'all, because I know y'all tired of hearing me talk. Gotta go and sit down somewhere and get my mind together. Tanya told me this lady is the boss. I can't wrap my mind around it right now. All right, ET, save me. Come on.
Remember, you don't need to explain or justify your decision to anyone. Your personal growth and success are more important than maintaining relationships that do not serve your highest good. As you begin to create a positive environment around you, remember that it's an ongoing process. This is not something you do once and forget about. You must continuously evaluate the people, content, and spaces that influence you and make adjustments as needed. Growth requires constant effort, and part of that effort is ensuring that you are always surrounding yourself with positivity, support, and inspiration. When you consistently choose to surround yourself with positive influences, you start to change the way you see yourself. You begin to believe in your potential, you take more risks, and you start acting in alignment with your goals. You create a life that reflects the person you are becoming, and in doing so, you open yourself up to endless opportunities for success, growth, and fulfillment. Taking action is the bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. It is the catalyst that turns dreams into reality, and it's the key to transforming the way you see yourself. Many people talk about their goals, they set intentions, and they might even visualize success. But without taking consistent, purposeful action, those dreams will remain out of reach. Taking action is not always easy. It requires discipline, courage, and the ability to push through challenges. However, it is the one thing that can change everything in your life. One of the biggest barriers to action is fear. People are often afraid of failure, afraid of rejection, or afraid of making mistakes. These fears can be paralyzing, preventing you from moving forward. But it's important to understand that fear is a natural part of the process. It doesn't go away just because you're ready to act. Instead of letting fear hold you back, you need to learn how to manage it. You can't let fear be the reason you stay stuck in the same place. The key is to take small, manageable steps. You don't need to have everything figured out or take massive leaps in one go. The process of transformation happens little by little, one action at a time. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. And over time, those small victories add up, building momentum and confidence. You'll start to see that the more you take action, the less fear will control you. Another reason people struggle with taking action is procrastination. It's easy to put things off, to tell yourself that you'll start tomorrow or that you're not ready yet. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect moment to start. Waiting for the right time is just another form of avoidance. The right time is always now. Action requires you to step outside of your comfort zone and push through the discomfort of uncertainty. It requires you to make the decision to act even when things aren't perfect. When you commit to taking action, you stop waiting for circumstances to change or for external factors to align perfectly. Instead, you take control of the situation and make progress regardless of how you feel or what challenges arise. It's important to remember that even if you don't have all the answers or all the resources, you can still make progress. Starting with what you have, where you are, is the key to moving forward. The more you act, the more clarity you will gain. You'll learn along the way, adapt, and improve. Another critical aspect of taking action is consistency. Taking action once or twice is not enough to create real change. It's the repeated efforts, day after day, that bring results. Consistency is what creates lasting transformation. This is where discipline comes in. You have to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, and take action towards your goals. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about commitment. It's about doing the work even when it's hard, even when you're tired, and even when you doubt yourself. To make action a habit, you need to create systems that support your goals. It's not enough to just say you want something. You need to create a plan and take deliberate steps every day to bring that plan to life. Setting clear, actionable goals is essential. Break down your larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks and set deadlines for yourself. This makes it easier to stay on track and ensures that you're making progress every day. At the same time, it's important to celebrate your progress. Often, people get so caught up in the end goal that they forget to acknowledge the small victories along the way. Recognizing your progress is crucial for maintaining motivation. Every step you take forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your ultimate goal. Celebrating these milestones, whether it's finishing a project, learning a new skill, or overcoming a fear, reinforces the habit of taking action and reminds you that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. Taking action also involves overcoming obstacles. Life is rarely a straight path to success. There will be setbacks, challenges, and failures along the way. The key is to keep going despite these obstacles. Failure is not the end, it's simply feedback. Every mistake or setback is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and improve. People who succeed are not those who never fail. They are the ones who keep going despite failure. They use each obstacle as a stepping stone toward greater success. One of the most powerful things you can do to take action is to shift your mindset from being a passive observer to an active participant in your life. Instead of waiting for things to happen to you, take the reins and create your own destiny. You are the driver of your life, and it's up to you to steer it in the direction you want. Taking ownership of your actions and decisions puts you in control. And when you feel in control, you'll find the motivation and energy to keep moving forward. The more you take action, the more confident you become. Confidence doesn't come from waiting for everything to be perfect or for the fear to go away. Confidence comes from doing the work, facing your fears, and proving to yourself that you are capable. With each action you take, you build trust in yourself. And with that trust comes the belief that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. In conclusion, taking action is the key to changing your life and changing the way you see yourself. It's about pushing through fear, overcoming procrastination, staying consistent, and learning from mistakes. It's about being disciplined and showing up every day to do the work, even when it's difficult. The more you take action, the more you move closer to your goals. And the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Take action now and let the journey begin. The journey to change the way you see yourself involves embracing a mindset of continuous learning and growth. Life is not static, and neither are you. Every moment, every experience, and every challenge presents an opportunity to evolve, to become better, and to transform. The more you open yourself up to learning, the more you unlock your potential and expand your capabilities. By adopting a growth mindset, you shift your perspective on who you are and what you are capable of achieving. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work, dedication, and perseverance. This mindset is rooted in the understanding that setbacks and failures are not indicators of your limitations, but rather stepping stones that contribute to your personal development. When you approach life with this mentality, you stop seeing yourself as fixed or defined by past experiences, and instead you view yourself as constantly evolving, learning, and improving. The first step in embracing a growth mindset is to challenge your existing beliefs about yourself. Many of us carry limiting beliefs about our potential, often shaped by past failures, external criticisms, or societal expectations. These beliefs can hold us back and create a narrow view of what we can accomplish. However, once you recognize these limiting beliefs for what they are, false narratives, you can begin to challenge and replace them with more empowering thoughts. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to do that, shift your mindset to, I'm capable of learning and growing, or I can improve with practice and effort. This simple shift in thinking can be incredibly powerful in changing the way you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Another crucial element of growth is the willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. It's easy to stay where things feel familiar and safe, but growth only happens when you push yourself beyond your current limitations. Stepping into discomfort can be intimidating, but it's also where the magic happens. When you take on new challenges, whether it's learning a new skill, starting a new project, or taking a risk, you stretch yourself and expand your capabilities. Even if you fail along the way, the experience itself teaches you valuable lessons, builds resilience, and adds to your sense of self-worth. Over time, you will begin to see that the discomfort of growth is worth the reward of becoming a better, more capable version of yourself. Learning also involves being open to feedback. Too often, people avoid feedback because they perceive it as criticism or as a reflection of their inadequacy. However, feedback is one of the most valuable tools for growth. Constructive criticism provides insights into areas where you can improve, and it helps you see blind spots that you may not be aware of. Instead of reacting defensively to feedback, embrace it with an open mind and use it as a guide for your personal and professional development. When you view feedback as an opportunity to learn, you begin to see it as a positive force that accelerates your growth and helps you become the best version of yourself. Failure is another integral part of the learning process. Many people fear failure because they see it as a reflection of their inability or shortcoming. However, those who embrace a growth mindset understand that failure is simply a part of the journey. Each failure brings with it lessons that are invaluable for your growth. Failure is not a sign that you're incapable. Rather, it's an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to try again with a new perspective. The most successful people are not those who have never failed, but those who have failed, learned from their mistakes, and kept moving forward. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success, but a necessary part of achieving it. In addition to learning from failure, it's important to celebrate your progress along the way. Growth is a gradual process, and sometimes it's easy to become discouraged if you don't see immediate results. However, every small step you take toward your goals is a victory. It's important to acknowledge and appreciate the progress you've made, even if it feels insignificant at times. This helps to maintain motivation and reinforces the belief that you are capable of continuous growth. Celebrating your progress also fosters a sense of gratitude, as it reminds you of how far you've come and how much you've learned. Another aspect of learning is the commitment to lifelong education. The world is constantly changing, and new information and skills are always emerging. The more you embrace learning as a lifelong pursuit, the more you stay ahead of the curve and continue to grow. This doesn't mean you need to pursue formal education at all times, but it does mean that you should always seek opportunities to expand your knowledge and skills. Whether it's reading books, taking courses, attending workshops, or simply seeking new experiences, the act of learning keeps you engaged with the world and encourages personal development. In the process of learning and growing, it's also important to cultivate self-compassion. Growth is not always linear, and there will be times when progress feels slow or when setbacks occur. During these times, it's essential to be kind to yourself.
Getting ready.
Self-compassion allows you to treat yourself with the same understanding and kindness that you would offer to a friend.
We are in now on the GBP pad. We are on the pad. We played a little bit too much. We shouldn't be celebrating that much. LL, we shouldn't be celebrating that much. Couldn't stop. Could not stop. He was determined to make a lot of money. Well, hey, as they say, speak it into existence. You have not because you ask not. So he's making sure that he wants you all to know he is determined to play that part of the song. So let's go. Is there anybody on here that had the opportunity to take the call that was called from a group yesterday? It was I think it was a youth chef trade. You should trade for 53 pips. Smash TP on that. Congratulations to those of you that did get the 53 pip, trade. And to be honest with you, dropped more than that. I think we end up, right about 53 pips. Did it for back. So that was cool. Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. Hang in there.
Instead of being overly critical or harsh when things don't go as planned, practice patience and forgive. Recognize that growth takes time and that every experience, whether positive or negative, is part of your journey. By being compassionate with yourself, you make the process of growth more sustainable and less stressful. Ultimately, embracing continuous learning and growth is about reframing how you see yourself. Instead of identifying with your past mistakes or limitations, you begin to see yourself as someone capable of constant improvement. You start to recognize that you are not defined by your current situation, but by your ability to evolve and adapt. This shift in perspective is empowering and allows you to break free from the constraints that have previously held you back. You begin to realize that your potential is not fixed, but it's something that you can cultivate through effort, persistence, and a willingness to learn. And as you continue to grow, you'll see yourself in a new light, someone who is resilient, resourceful, and capable of achieving great things. Changing the way you see yourself is not just about shifting your mindset momentarily. It's about creating a lifelong transformation in how you perceive your worth, potential, and purpose. The journey to self-belief and growth is ongoing, and it requires daily commitment, intentional actions, and the courage to challenge the narratives that have kept you from realizing your full potential. At every stage of your life, you will encounter obstacles, moments of self-doubt and setbacks that test your resolve. But these moments are not meant to define you. Instead, they are opportunities to reaffirm your strength, to learn, and to step forward with greater confidence in who you are becoming. The most important realization you can have is that your past does not dictate your future. Whatever mistakes, failures, or limitations you have experienced are not a reflection of your final destination. You have the power to change your story at any given moment by shifting your perspective, taking action, and believing in the possibility of growth. You are not bound by old patterns or past conditioning unless you choose to be. True transformation begins when you refuse to let yesterday's failures define today's potential. It begins when you embrace the fact that every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger, more resilient, and more self-aware. Your self-anemic is shaped by what you consistently tell yourself. So the key to changing how you see yourself is to speak positivity, encouragement, and belief into your own life. No one else's validation or approval can replace the power of your own self-acceptance and determination. You must be your own greatest advocate, choosing every day to see yourself as capable, worthy, and deserving of success and happiness. The world will always have opinions about you, but the only opinion that truly matters is the one you hold about yourself. If you believe you are capable, you will act accordingly. If you see yourself as someone who is constantly evolving and improving, you will take the necessary steps to grow. The most successful people in the world did not start out with perfect circumstances or unlimited confidence. They simply decided that they were worthy of success and worked relentlessly toward it. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who remain stagnant is not talent or luck, is the willingness to persist despite obstacles and to see oneself as capable of rising beyond challenges. Your mindset determines your reality, and when you choose to see yourself in a new light, everything around you begins to change. You attract opportunities, take bolder actions, and begin to embody the version of yourself that once felt out of reach. But none of this can happen unless you take the first step, unless you make the decision today to see yourself differently. You are not broken, unworthy, or incapable. You are powerful, capable, and constantly evolving. Your future is waiting for you to embrace it, and the only thing standing in your way is the belief that you are anything less than extraordinary.
Well, hope you got an earful. Hope you like that. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. That's cool. Well, we have Pillow Profit reports coming in. Pillow Profit reports coming in. Just got a sale order for UCAD, telling us to put in a sale. This is coming from our trading system. So pretty cool. Another report on Pillow Profit, meaning we took these trades last night and got some pips. Pillow Profit coming from UJ, and the UJ trade got about 67 pips in profit, or worth of profit. So on that one, which was great. Good stuff. Let me tell you, time goes by fast when you got Eric talking. Man, it was a good deal. So, we don't have much volatility in the market this morning, so we just kind of hold on and see what happens, see how this plays out. I do want to see how this is going to play out. I'll just run up out of here. At least hold on to some of it and see, what's going to happen with these trades that were caught. Really feeling good about the U-Chef trade. Been riding U-Chef down all last month, really. Which was good stuff, going to jump into the word today, which is, again, something that kind of lines up with what we were talking about and what we got from our message today to Eric. If there's something that stood out to you, you can drop it in the chat if you want to. Something that resonated with you or stood out to you. Want to share that? I don't really have a problem with people in my circle that are negative, because my circle is very small. Don't really have a lot of friends. I cut a lot of that out. I do have people that I kind of communicate with that's in my men's group, church. But if I'm on the phone talking to someone, this one time when I was on the phone talking to someone, my 5-year-old daughter walked up and was like, "Daddy, who are you talking to?" She's like, "Uncle Romeo." I was like, "No, it's not." She's like, "Yes, it is." I said, "No, it's not." "Yes, it is." I said, "You just think that I don't have any friends. I talk to people." And she was like,
Hey,
"You don't.
Take a look.
You don't have any friends."
Look. Hey, take a look. Hey.
I'm on YouTube, not talking Apple Romeo. So, with that being said, just basically saying, even my kids realize that my circle is small, and gotta be careful with who we are around, right? Who we allow to be in our circle, and who we allow to bring us down. A lot of times that can be the case. You gotta be mindful of who we allow to lift us up. If we're around people that are not lifting us up, we shouldn't be around those people. Okay. So I want to talk about the word of the day. It comes from Exodus. Exodus 4:14. The Lord became angry with Moses. God qualified you. God says you are qualified. And in this verse here, you may wonder, why would God be mad with Moses? God was calling Moses to not want to pick up the phone. God is calling a lot of us and has called us, and we are not picking up the phone. God knows that we're qualified. And a lot of times, God does not reach out to the ones that are qualified. Let me say that. My mentor, Minister Gary, always says, God doesn't qualify the caller. He qualifies the call. So if you're on that call, then you're automatically qualified. God doesn't like to call people that are, gifted and talented in the area to go and do something. He wants those people that do not have gifts and talents in that area so that he can show his power. Right? So I think about this here. When the Israelites were slaves in Egypt, God said to Moses, "Go tell Pharaoh what I said. Tell him I said, let my people go." If you remember, if you heard the story, Moses' reply to God was, "Can't do that. I don't speak well. I stutter. God, get somebody else to do it. Get my brother." God, you didn't give me that gift. I'm afraid. This is what Moses told God. God, you didn't give me that gift. I'm afraid. Send someone else with the skills. And Moses kept making excuse after excuse after excuse. And finally, God became angry. God was angry. He was not angry because Moses had flaws and felt he wasn't qualified. It's like, yeah. He was angry because Moses stuttered. He wasn't angry because Moses had these speech problems. No, you know about that. He was angry because Moses kept going back and forth. He wasn't angry because Moses saw his gift as not enough. He wasn't upset with that. He wasn't afraid or angry because Moses was afraid. Me personally, I think it was the thing that Moses thinking that he didn't have what it takes when God said he did. I believe personally that's what got to God, is that Moses was thinking that he didn't have what it takes when God had told him he did. You got it. God is not displeased with us because we have weaknesses or shortcomings. He's displeased when we're not using the talent he's given us. When we're making excuses, when we're discounting our gifts. Think about this here. God wouldn't ask you to do something if he didn't already give you what you need. You gotta stop discounting yourself. Stop unqualifying yourself. God wants you to get out your comfort zone, and we love being comfort. We love to be comfortable, but God wants us out of our comfort zone. We always want to play it safe, but if you always play it safe, you'll never reach your full potential. That's all I'm saying. So God is calling. God is qualified to call. Just pick it up, answer it. Let's go, y'all. Let us pray. Father, we thank you. Thank you for the gifts and talents that you've given us. Your word says that our gifts and talents will make room for us. I thank you for the gifts and talents that you put in each and every one of us on this call today, Lord, on this that is up under the sound of my voice. Thank you that you made me the way that I am. Whatever you ask me to do, you will make sure that we have what it takes to complete the job. From this moment on, Lord, I will do my best to be faithful, to develop what you've already given me, and be bold to step out on faith, step out of our comfort zone, step out on unfamiliar territory, and use the gifts and talents that you've given us. In your holy name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. That is it. Touch and agree. Say amen. Say amen. Say amen. And I don't want anybody to be offended by this picture here, so let me just post it again. I don't want anybody to be offended by this next picture that's coming up. I know we have some sensitive people here. You know, God is calling here on an Android device. Doesn't mean that he won't reach out to you just because you have an iPhone. He will. God knows your flaws. Right? He forgives you for having an iPhone. Okay. Thank y'all very much for watching. Thank y'all for joining. Appreciate you. Rolling with Coach Shop. Catch us here tomorrow morning, if the Lord says the same, at 8 a.m. Central Time. All right. Y'all be blessed and have a good day.